Let's see.
There you
Ah,
go.
everybody got that?
Yep.
Okay, so let me move this up. Whoops, hang on. Mouse is a little quick and I'm a little slow. I'll go over here with that. Okay, and get you off. Get off. All right, so this is, I believe, Doris's picture, which was waiting patiently. Correct, Doris? Yeah?
Yes.
All right. Who wants to take a shot at this one first?
I'm sorry. Look
Go
at
ahead.
the angle, the diagonal of that beak. It's beautiful. It's perfect. Um, if you just picture that head straight up, it wouldn't vertically, it wouldn't be as attractive, as interesting. So that angle is really beautiful. I like the crop. It's a tight crop on the left. There's some room on the right, which is good, which I like. But some may say it's too tight. I don't think it's too tight. Uh, the feathers are beautiful. The texture is beautiful. The background is wonderful, perfect. It goes very well with the colors in the bird itself. I think it's very, very nice. Nice job.
Dave, you
And
got a thought?
Yeah, I agree with everything Harvey said. I think the bird is fabulous. I love the color range in it. I love the texture. I think the eye is really sharp, and there's beautiful colors throughout it.
Mhm.
The only thing that I would say is I think when you you probably tried to blur the background, and on the left side, you can still kind of see where it got cut off a little. Um,
Talking here
yeah, going up there, especially there, yeah.
into the edges.
Yeah, into the edges. And that's really hard to do because it's hard to select feathers and hair and fur that come out. My only thought about that was that perhaps if you didn't blur it that much, there'd still be a sense of, the stray feathers or whatever that probably were there.
I
but
gotta, I gotta take a shot at this for a second because I think that where we are right now with a lot of you is you're learning how to select, you're learning how to blur backgrounds, how to replace backgrounds, but we got a little bit of a problem with some of the halo and the edging that goes on. So we're going to have to really come together and do something about that. But Doris, in this case, a little bit of the clone stamp tool would have just kind of just pulled these edges out and soften them because you can soften the edge of the opacity of the brush. Also, you can soften the brush and you can change the opacity. So you just pull this out so it goes past that black hard edge.
Okay.
I think the background is really nice. I like what
Mhm.
you did with it. There's a little bit of a halo down here, but it's non-existent. I think the eye is phenomenal. The color, the sheen on the top of his head with the sun bouncing off of it. It's a terrific picture. It really, really is.
Thank you.
I
I
have a
tried to extend the background to the left, but it got crazy with his
Yeah,
body.
oh yeah,
right.
no.
Well, we're going to show
Yeah.
one of those. David and I played with one, and we're going to show you the ultimate epic failure with it because sometimes, and like if you would have extended to the right, it would have been beautiful
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
there's nothing complicated where it doesn't have to make a decision about, oh,
Mhm.
well, I don't know. I think there's a bird there, but I don't know what part of the bird and what do you want? So it gets wacko. Yeah,
And I think Harvey was right. I think the close crop on the left, I think is perfect. I love the crop on that.
I
So,
do too. I think this scored very well. It was well loved by everybody. It was a good picture. I think Doris, if you want me to go over this with you and you send me the picture back at full resolution, then
Okay.
what we can do is I'll just tweak and show you how to just sweetly tuck that in there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I just have a question, Doris, when you do these, do you down at the bottom, and on one of the screens it says refine edges. After you've blurred the background, it says refine edges and it allows you to feather the edges a little bit. And I wondered whether you do that as part of your process.
No, I didn't know about that, but I could
Okay,
try it.
because I do that all the time. Not a
And
lot, just a
it's
little.
critical. It's
Okay.
absolutely critical as you start doing background changes and swapping or moving things from one to another. it's the finesse now, because you're getting a piece of this, but not the quite finesse of the edges. So very
Yeah, I think we're just talking subtleties. It's a fabulous
That's
picture.
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's
Great,
just,
Doris.
it's fine lines now that, or it's a great picture.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Good job. Good job.
And by the way, don't anybody, as you get better and better with this, and then we bring up something, it's because we're trying to lead you just to another level, a little more, a little higher. But don't worry about egos, because we've all been there, and every time we have one of our images critiqued by Jack, somebody says something and makes you go back. Yeah, it's tough. So
I know. Don't worry.
okay, this. Again, I'll start with this one. It's a really good image. It's Eileen Lerner's. It's called Beautiful Beach Day. I like the pair of pelicans. I like the linear line going down the right. I like the background. I don't think it needed to be blurred. I think it's just perfect because the bird clearly takes your focus is on those birds and then maybe on the back one. So I kind of like the environmental aspect of it. I think the clouds are beautiful the way you've captured. The lighting of this is really, really good. And the composition is terrific. It's just a super picture.
I
Okay.
agree. I think this is fantastic. Some people might say, take the buildings out. I think
Oh, no.
it adds to the whole story. And it's really it looks like a painting to me. The colors are so bright yet realistic. And it's like two pelicans having a day at the beach. I just think it's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah, by the way, we're going to see a lot of pelicans.
I would just like to tell people that this is an iPhone picture.
Wow.
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 So I have a
Awesome.
composition question.
Go.
Um, what do you think it would add anything to the picture if the full body of the pelican in the background was included, or you don't mind that crop?
I actually like it.
I do too.
I do too.
Okay, just
You know
wanted
what
an
it does?
opinion.
You know what it does for me? It makes me kind of wonder, are there more down there?
Yeah.
I kind of see the linear line and I kind of know it's leading towards an environmental perspective. I'm saying, God, are they all lined up? Does the line go forever? Where does it go? As long as the first one is in, I have no problem with part of the second one being in there at all.
Correct.
All
Thank
right.
you.
It's a terrific picture. Good job,
Yeah.
Eileen.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Okay, this was by Steve. Do we have Steve here with us?
No.
Okay, but he'll get the recording. So
Yes.
this is Waiting for a Lucky Fisherman. All right, have at it.
Okay, so this picture, I mean, now we've seen two tack sharp pelicans with perfect exposure. This one is not so much sharp. And I can't figure out why. It's almost like the background is sharp and the front is not
Mm.
sharp. And I'm just wondering on the particular camera that he's using, whether the focus point was not being controlled by the photographer. And so it actually accidentally focused on the little red cone and the wood in the background, which are all tack sharp, and the pelican is not.
I'll give you the settings on it. It was with a Panasonic, so it was done with without the cell phone, but it was shot at f5.7. So, and it was shot at 49 or 50 millimeters. So it was close. As we know, those birds were very close. So I think I agree with you, Adrian. I think somehow or other, I think the focal point with that f7, that bird should have been tack sharp and the back should have been blurred.
Right.
And the other thing is exposure wise, it's a little dark and it's called clipping to the left, clipping towards the blacks. Because if you look here, you're losing detail right in here with the feathers. You don't have the intricate detail here as let's say we would with this, where you see all the feathers. And even this one with a crop, you see feathers. In the blacks, right here, you still see some feathers. Here it blurs in a little bit, so we just needed to adjust that in post-processing with just bringing up the shadows of the blacks a little bit and sharpen it. Might have come in. Harv, anything else?
And no, you got it. No, I agree with everything. Yeah.
So this one is a Doris picture. It's not so easy, which is cute. Cute title. All right, who wants to take a shot?
I would like to see it a little sharper, I think, basically. It's a soft picture. Um, the background too, I think, is kind of busy, taking away from the subject itself. Colors are great, the blues and greens are very nice. I'm looking at it closely now. Unless it's my vision, I don't I would like to see it again, as I said, sharper. And to repeat myself, I think there's too much in the background.
Yeah,
That's how I see it.
I think the issue really is he's on the same plane as the slide. So the slide would probably be much sharper. It wouldn't blur as much as the rest of the background. I don't mind the rest of the background blurring, which is nice, but I think probably the slide should have been as sharp as the boy.
So I need to ask Doris this now. So Doris, did you blur the background and include the slide and when you tried to blur it?
Yeah, I think I just selected the boy to make him sharp.
Right. And so that's where David's point was, because that's the first thing that hit me right in the face with it was the boy. And if you notice, the boy is sharp here, but the boy in the face starts to lose it because that's what Dave said. He's on the same plane. He's blending into this, and you tried to blur this. So I would have masked out this and not selected this and just blurred everything else around it.
Okay.
It's the question, and it's really a problem for a lot of us now about what you choose to blur and what you don't. What's on the plane? What do you want in? What do you want out? And that takes practice and time. You'll figure it out. All righty, here we go. This one is it was Steve's, and it's called the Lighthouse Building Lineup. Oh, let's go. I missed one here. I'm sorry. Here we go. This was Eileen's other one, Alert Pelican. So it bothers me that the tail got cut off, and I know it doesn't bother David. David has a thing about the law of continuity, and basically his mind says, I know it's a tail, I don't need to see it. Me, because I need to see the tail. That's just
for some reason, in this case, I would like to see the tail also. The law of continuity, we know what continues out there, but for some reason, I would like to see the entire bird. Not the other one, but this one, yes.
Yep. And otherwise, it's not quite as sharp as the other, not quite as edited with the sharp tack sharp, but it's nice. But this, no. So this is what happens. David tried to resurrect the tail and do an extended crop.
Oh.
All right. So what happens is, if you look at the original, it has to figure this out. It knows this is going to continue. This is going to continue. The tail's going to continue. And that's what it created. So now the bottom line is you'd have to kind of use your remove tool and your clone stamp and clean this up, should you choose to do that. It wasn't going to be a nice extend the crop. And that's what we were saying in the beginning.
Right,
when you
right.
try to extend it, it doesn't always work. So
Right.
there would be the epic failure. And it's not even, you could fix it, but it would require a lot of talent to fix it. So you would say no. So now to hear to this.
Wait, go back. I just wanted to say something about this picture.
Sure.
The other picture had those apartment buildings in the background, and they were sort of covered more of the background behind the birds. Right. So I like having all that stuff in there. In this one, it disturbs me that just the beak is over on top of the apartment buildings. I don't know why, but it has to do with where the photographer stood and where they had their camera. I would have moved around a little bit more to see if I could either get more apartment building behind the bird or less apartment building. I don't know. I would like to do a different level of composition here.
So
And
whenever you're looking and you've got the camera up in front of your face, look and see what is in the background. Look and see what else is back there that you want or you don't want. And Adrian's point is great. Keep moving. Keep getting a different level of composition to it. I would agree with Adrian. This does Yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother me that the head is here. It's just the little piece of the beak coming in here. Just not quite as good a picture as the other one was. So let's go to this one now. Here we go. What are we thinking? It's called Lifeguard Building Lineup.
Oh, I like this picture. I think the title is really good because it draws me in. If I know there should be plural lifeguard buildings, so I keep looking and looking and looking and see that there are at least 4 of them. So it draws me in. The title is actually drawing me into the picture, and I think it's well exposed. I think it has just the right amount of stuff in it for a scene that I know that this beach looks like this.
Titles matter. Titles matter. They really do. They help you. Dave, you got a thought?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think when you read the title and you look at it, you notice it. I think I wish there was a way, again, like you said earlier, Adrian, if the photographer maybe had moved a little to the right and tried to get them more in a lineup,
No.
I think it could have been an even better shot. I also kind of think that between the first and the second, there are a lot of distractions. I think those not necessarily all the people, but all the orange cones and the pipes. I would have just made it just clean it up a little. Um, and I think if there was any way to again move around to make those more in a row or closer looking together, that would improve the idea. I think it's a great idea.
Good
I
points.
was going to say what
Oh,
David said.
wow. Look at that.
That's it. That's it. Yep, there's a difference.
Yeah.
That's it.
So,
Well, then,
so
Steve,
this is one of Steve's. So all you needed to do was just go in with the remove tool
Hey.
in Photoshop Elements. Just take some of this out. I took the pole out. I took this pole out. I took all these little red dot things out. I
Mhm.
took a little bit out here and I cleaned it up. So now you went to bang, to bang, to bang. And what you got was a different look.
Yeah.
Great.
Still got a sense of lots of people on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't
right.
take them out. I actually could have, but I said, no, we want that. And I agree, Dave, if they had stepped a little more to the right, we'd have a little, you see a little bit more of this too. But, or a different line. I'm not sure, but I think that just taking out the clutter,
Yep.
Mhm.
5 seconds with a remove tool. And you
Big-
can say, you know what, are we cheating when we do that? I don't feel like I'm cheating anymore.
Yeah, no.
The
Big
remove
difference.
tool, taking
Yeah.
wires out and taking stuff and taking little distractions out is pretty cool.
And I would just reiterate about the moving. You don't just move, you take a lot of pictures. So you move, you take a picture, you move, you take a picture. You don't necessarily know exactly how it's going to look when you get home. It's free. Take picture, take a lot of pictures.
Remember we said on the 7th day, God made the delete key.
Right.
All right, here we
And
go.
also, you're not paying for film anymore.
Right.
So.
It's free.
This is, let's see. I think there's 2 in here. Okay. That's the first one. That's Marty's. And it's called Yes. Like the bird was probably moving his head up and down and he was squawking something. Cute picture.
Yes.
This has a little more detail of the feathers in here. So it's exposed a little bit better, a little dark here. I will show you. I just lightened it a touch, not a lot. You know, I don't know what else I would really do with that, but I do. It's about the expression. It's cute. It's just freaking cute. So
It is. And the yellow is good. The eye is good. The detail and the feathers is good. And the background is good. I think this
look at
is
the eye
nice.
here.
Yep. Oh,
Mhm.
You see the difference in the edit? It's so subtle. I mean, this is really blown up, but
It's
you learn to see that, even though it's not blown up. So,
It was,
and
I also got to say, it looks like it was in camera, the blurred background. But I think it's just enough to know where the bird is and give a sense of the beach and the water and everything. Yeah, there's things on the beach, but I think it all adds to the environment.
Yeah,
I think it's a nice job.
with
agreed.
this, I sharpened it a little bit and I brightened it a little bit, and then I desaturated this.
Oh, that's nice.
If you see that this, my eye goes here, but
Yeah.
I still like the sense of the environment being left in there. So all I did was just basically desaturate that a little bit. So it keeps your eye here.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. This is Marty's other one. It's called Resting.
Minimalistic. Would you say it's minimal?
Yes.
I love the yellow against the sand. The little touch of red on the left is interesting too. Shadow is great. I would like to see this angled more, not as flat as it is, more of a diagonal. I think it would add to the interest and the impact. Interesting shot. Nice sea. Very nice sea.
That's exactly what I was thinking in my mouth. Nice sea. It's
In
it's
your
a
mouth?
perfect example of a
Your mouth?
nice sea. Yeah.
Wait a minute. You thought
Getting
in your
ready to
mouth?
say it. Yeah, because you said it first.
Okay.
I was ready to say it.
Well, I'm gonna show you something here which is very interesting. Do you see the darkened corners? They're darker
Yeah.
in all the
Only I
corners.
see the top
Yeah.
ones, but I don't see the
Yeah.
bottom.
Okay, well, I see it on all four, but especially over here. But the bottom line is that's
It's
either camera distortion that comes out with your lens sometimes. This was a Canon Rebel he shot this with, so the lens could have a little bit of distortion to it. So the problem is if you want to extend the crop to make it more minimalistic, the problem is it's hard because it now has two different colors to extend when it starts playing. And you see this get darker as it comes out, and it doesn't
Oh.
work out. But Dave did edit this, and so this was Dave's edit. So he saw that vignetting, so he just changed the background out.
Looks
So,
like Ira did it.
Right. Right.
so
But I agree with Harvey. I love the color and I think it's very graphic. And I think, every once in a while, like a posterized look can be fun, especially with a surfboard.
So this was my edit a little differently because we always are a little differently. I probably could take it up from the bottom a little bit. I had a little problem blending this with the bone stamp to bring some softness over here, but I did angle it more. Here's the first one,
Yep.
and there's the second
Oh,
one.
yeah.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
And maybe I could have added a little more on the top and taken a little more on the bottom out of it.
Mhm.
But it's funny because David's point was well taken too. If you angle it too much, then the shadow looks unrealistic. So you have to be careful about just turning it. But basically speaking, the shot is, and that's always the argument. What's minimalistic? To me, the subject matter fills so much of the frame that in order for me to feel that sense of minimalism, I need to extend the background so the subject is a little bit less in your face, so to speak. But it's a nice shot.
I did something.
I like it. I like the angle. I like the shadow. I think it was well done.
You see, a lot of people would walk right by this and not even look at
Yeah.
it. That's why
Absolutely.
I said
It was a good see.
good. That's what I
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Adrian,
Really
your
good
math
see.
is right. Good.
Right. But I would, this is another example of something I would have taken a lot of pictures of, and people would have looked at me like I was crazy. I didn't see this at all, but I would have walked around it, shot it from different angles, moved my camera, because I think there's multiple ways to shoot something like this and make it a little more interesting. So it's a good picture.
In this
too.
picture,
Subject.
if you notice, I didn't do it in that one, but I might even take these two little spots out.
Yeah, I wondered about those.
I would take them out. I just didn't have the time to do it, but I would do that. So this is most interesting. So here's a conversation that we've been having a lot. You are now, as a group, learning to do things with different tools, and you're learning how to flip out background, how to put filters on. And it's like when I first learned photography, I oversaturated everything because I fell in love with the sliders. Says, "Oh wow, look what happened! I can do that." Sometimes you got to be careful about what you can do because, and it doesn't mean because you can do it, you should do it. So, or then you have to finesse what you decide to do. Dave, why don't you have around with this since I know you edited this out and we played with it.
Yeah, and I think the idea is good. I mean, the hair is crazy. It's going up in the air. There was something interesting really about it. It seemed like the way it was cut around looked very odd.
Right
Uh,
here.
yeah. So, I mean, it obviously was when it was selected, it was all cut off. So I just, again, by no means a finished piece of work, but I just played with it a bit if you have that.
I do.
Oh,
So
wow.
she was soft to begin with, which is okay. I just put it on black so she would pop a little. And then I used the clone stamp and just kept pulling out her hair, so to speak, to the edge of the picture. And just, I mean, if you're going to go for it, go for it. And you could do subtleties within the hair and pick different places. I kind of picked one or two places and then just kept pulling it out. But
Liquefy is another tool to play with this.
right.
Hair extensions are expensive.
Yes.
So this, what I do like about this, and so I know Dave, you and I looked at this once before. This round, I like this, and I know Dave, you reversed it, made it black, but what I like was this. So in essence, for example, if I turned around and brought this crop in, and you imagine that the hair was fixed like David had it fixed, and left it that way with the hair coming up here, you'd still have this sense of like a lens look, a light look. And I really do like that. I think that's a filter that maybe perhaps Nance put on it that I like. I just would have done this. I think it lost something with the black, but that's just me.
I think her finger looks too long.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, we've got a few in here that have some funny looking things with their hands, but that's part with selections. But this is very interesting. It was an attempt at really being creative, and we just got to finish it. Need a few more tools to finish it. Okay, this is one that is Harry's.
And the title?
I'm sorry.
The
It's
title.
called Pompano Clouds.
Well, I think the clouds are nice. And with that title, I'm looking more at the clouds. But I think there's too much of the green things, both the bush and the tree, that even though they're framing the clouds, I would have gotten rid of some of that. And I think you're going for the clouds, but
There was another workshop we did a while ago, another review we did, and we were talking about clouds per se. I think it was the blue light one.
yes, it was. Yeah.
And when you chase and decide to make clouds the focal point, there has to be something really unique about the clouds. Not just that they're white and they're puffy or they're pretty, but like the Rorschach test. It's kind of like you see something like an animal in the clouds, or if you have a moon or a sun or something that breaks it up, something that's a little different, other than it's very difficult to get anybody to really zero in and have a wow factor when it's just clouds that are also lost in some of the other greenery, as Adrian mentioned. And maybe it might have been a little nicer to have a little bit more in the foreground in it, but then it wouldn't have been about the clouds. So when you decide to make it about the clouds, it's always a risky thing in my mind to play with clouds as the focal point. Dave?
Yeah,
Harvey?
I don't have anything to add. I agree.
What Adrian mentioned about framing, sometimes usually it works. In this case, Adrian's right. There's too much green, and framing the clouds with those green trees doesn't do anything for that image.
Yeah,
Um,
it would be a the first shot. What do we call that when we do the not a substantial shot, but
a
yeah.
oh God,
I didn't
establish,
even know that you could work this anymore.
establishing.
Yeah, I don't even
Establishing.
know that we could work it anymore though, because the composition itself doesn't lend itself to work with it. So it might be considered by some to be more snapshot. Oh, here we got some wild stuff. Here's the halos. This is Nancy's. Nancy's playing and she's learning when she's playing. I can tell. But see the halo here and the halo around the phone? So that's that refined edge and the selection of the background that maybe perhaps could make a difference there. All right, who's got thoughts?
I love the subject matter. The two of them, their heads, the little green tint in their hair, the smaller child's fingers on her cheek. There's just a lot to appreciate in the intimacy of this photo.
Yeah,
I might want to try cropping in from the right a little bit, maybe even over some of her shoulder,
Yeah.
just to even make it more intimate. And then the comments Ann made about the halos and trying to do without that. It's soft, but I like it soft.
Yeah, I think I agree with cropping from the right. So you'd actually get rid of the green and the yellow, which is a little distracting. Um, and I think it is a very kind of intimate little moment. The thing that I don't know what it is, but the hand on the phone looks strange. It looks a little like it's been amputated. Um, I don't know how you would fix that.
it's because it's not quite tack sharp there, but that is, and I wouldn't want to crop the phone out because obviously that's part of the story. So I played with it to get rid of the halos. Now, I only played, if you look, I darkened the background, but I didn't want to get in here too much. But if you look at it, you see how the halo's gone here? It's still up here. I only just briefly, if you darken, then you get rid of this white line that is running up here. Look at the line, see it? That's what you can lose a little bit. So sometimes when you see a white halo, if you darken, you lose some of it. And we could have cropped it, but I would have had to have really worked on this.
Well,
And
because then you have a dark halo at the bottom.
On the right side by her elbow.
yep, yep.
Which,
It's complicated. And
but you
again,
could have filled it in with a dark color.
Or cropped it off.
Yeah,
right. And,
Yeah.
and the problem is when we try to play with these to look to see what else could be done with them, we don't have the originals. We have a very, very scaled down resolution to the picture. So it doesn't give us the pixels we really need to do the kinds of things we would do. But I would say Nance, keep playing and well, this is actually, yeah, this is Nancy's. Keep playing. And let's just try to work on some of those halos and see if we can finesse it a little bit more. This is Harry's, and it's called Up, Up, and Away.
I love the shape of the parachute or set whatever it is. It's got nice shapes in there and everything. I would have come in a lot tighter to see it. I think it's a really cool thing to shoot. It seems a little soft that when you try to blow that up. So I don't know if that was from a phone or on a camera.
Camera.
It was a camera. Yeah, this was the camera.
I have a question. Notice when I try to straighten it, there's white blank spaces. How do I get rid of that? On the edges.
You either crop it
Crop it.
after and it still actually needs to be straightened a little bit more.
Yeah.
But once you're finished straightening it, then you can crop it. Or and I was trying to figure this out for myself and couldn't figure it out last night because I was like really tired. There is a setting that allows you to crop it and fill in those spaces.
Content aware fill.
Yeah, it automatically does it. And it's in one of the guided edits. What happened with me is I was trying to do it on one of my pictures to enter into the show, and it would only crop it would only straighten in the wrong direction. No matter what I did, it wouldn't go to the right, it only would go to the left, so I couldn't use it at all.
Harry,
If you still have Picasa, I think it's easier to straighten in Picasa.
100% agree.
or the white areas could be cropped out
Yeah.
very easily, Harry. Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, that's a lot sharper than I thought it would be.
Yep.
well, where it's not, see, if you look at this, this is pretty sharp. It's not bad. Little sharpening went on here, but what happens is you can't. This is going to be a very exaggerated blow up. But these figures are no longer sharp. You couldn't do anything with it
Right.
because it basically I didn't have the pixels to work with it because again when we put these in, they're at a lower resolution. I might have been able to do more with the people, but far enough away, you get the feeling. I love this, like Dave said, I love the shape of the kite. And notice I cropped the boat out of it.
Mhm.
I don't think you needed the boat. Notice I cropped the wire from going to the boat. I even took that out. They look like they're just floating out there. And you kind of look at this and how could that be? So there's something that's kind of bizarre about it, but something is really cool about it. But again, in the crop mode, shoot a lot of pictures. I think Harry, your lens was only a 200 on this. I think you had a 55 to 200 lens on this.
Right, and that's my problem. I knew that was the problem.
Yeah, so I look when I have my 200 on, and I know that's all I can get. I kind of look at him saying, nah, I'm not going to shoot it because I know what's going to happen. If I have my other lens on and I get a little longer, so some days you got to make a decision when you go down. You either need a longer lens or you just wait for them to come in closer, or it's a tough call. But I noticed your lens was limited.
If you shot this in RAW, would there be more pixels of the right kind that would let you do a better crop?
When you shoot in RAW, what it does is it gives you the ability to save highlights, save clipping, change white balance, and it doesn't compress. So there is a little more color capability to it.
Right.
And this is it's a compressed thing because it wasn't shot raw.
Can I
But
just say that I still love the shape of the kite. I like no, go to your close-up. And I like the lighting on it, I think is really pretty too.
that is.
I think I mean I just loved seeing the folds in the fabric.
Mm-hmm.
And this may be an instant where, where a filter may help, some kind of artistic filter. Because it's really kind of a beautiful angle to capture this. And there's a lot of things that are nice about it. And sometimes if you go, whether you posterize it or put another effect on it or whatever, I would play around with it because I think I just think it's a beautiful piece.
I was
love
going
the
to say,
lighting. The lighting is awesome, and the little eye up here.
Oh, yeah.
But the
it's
lighting, the curves. There's a piece of me that almost doesn't even want the people. I just don't
I know.
I don't know how much
If
further we could crop it. I mean, we'd have to really enhance it and add pixels and do everything else, but it is really cool. The shape and the lighting is awesome.
Yeah.
you
because of the,
added pixels, would you be able to restore the people?
Maybe if I had the original, maybe because you can in gigapixel or in
In Photoshop Elements and resize, you can add pixels.
it resizes, but it doesn't add the pixels the way Topaz AI does and the way Gigapixel does.
Okay.
It it loses something. I think what it does is it stretches the pixels. It doesn't necessarily add more pixels, but that's just my feeling about it. But anyway.
Because of the shape, it's so interesting. Okay. I think David is right. Artistically, you could play with that.
Oh yeah, it's worth playing with because it was a great scene. It's like, how could you not want to shoot this? It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely gorgeous. Play around with it, Harry. Play some more.
Hmm.
Worth it. All right, this is, I believe, Doris's, and this is Donna's. This is Donna's. This is pelican feathers. Boy, those pelicans did command their presence up there, huh?
This shot has such great detail. It's just beautiful. I really like it. I really like looking at it, and the fact that all the different sections of it are different. And then there's a shadow there. It's just really pretty. This
Did
is
she do
something.
that in macro?
This is her iPhone 14
It's on
Pro.
it's on her phone.
But she could have had it in a macro phase. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you can't
I
tell.
don't think so.
That could be.
I
That
think
could
she
be.
was really close. She was really
I
down.
remember her bending down right over the back of the bird because these guys
Exactly.
were,
They didn't
Yeah.
move.
yeah. I shot them too because I could just about, I could get within 2 feet of them.
Yeah.
One of them did fly up and kind of scare me a little bit because he decided to go catch a fish that somebody had brought in, and feathers went right in my face. And
Oh
I'm like,
God.
that was fun. All right, nice shot.
The
I like the
blue-
experiment. I like trying to do something different.
Yeah.
This really was a nice attempt at being more creative with composition. All right, this is also Donna's. This is called the Pompano Pier.
So I'll just say that I think it's nice. I think it's a little oversaturated, but I still like it a lot. Um, I've kind of seen this shot a lot. I mean, we all have pretty much shot this. It's the way to shoot the pier. But what really intrigued me about this was kind of the reflection in the foreground and the waves in the foreground. And again, it's a personal taste, but I just took a crack at it, just cropping it to so it's kind of the bottom half of the picture. And I just thought it was interesting. But
So before I go to Dave's crop, notice a histogram up here. Can you see that histogram on my screen to the right over
Yeah.
here?
Yes.
It's clipped, and you can see it lost some detail in the sky, and it's very, very white and very light in here. It lost detail because it is clipped to the right. And I believe the reason for that is when it's very hard to hold the iPhone steady and then take your finger, get a focus point, and then move your finger off that box to the left or the right of the box and drag your finger down, which deepens and darkens the picture when you need to. Sorry. So I think that's what happened here with it. And here is David's crop.
and I'm not saying this is a fantastic picture, but I just think the thing is I would just encourage to kind of play with it. Just, you took it as is, and maybe look at if there are pieces in it that you might want to try looking in on. They may work, they may not.
Just a different, again, this is called working the subject. That's all. Just working the picture a little bit. So this one is Leslie's, and Leslie went back on her own because she knew there was going to be a full moon, and everybody else had left, and she was there earlier, and then she went back. And
How do we know Leslie didn't just put a moon in there? I'm kidding.
one of mine. Did you take one of my moons there?
It looks like a picture postcard.
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful. I think your foreground, or the brush there, the green, the texture is terrific. It sets the house back a little bit, which is nice, gives it some depth, dimension. The color, the colors on go ahead. The reds, the blues, the text. That's beautiful. That's it. You got it.
Yeah.
Look at the lines all over. diagonal, horizontal, everything. The star, the number. It's it could be a children's book cover or something like that. The sky's beautiful, the shades of gray and pink and blue, and I think it's just a beautiful capture. Beautiful.
Great composition.
Yeah,
Adrian,
perfect.
a thought?
I love the fact that all the reeds are sharp. The reeds that are
Mhm.
along the horizon line are just sharp. Everything is sharp, and that because sometimes you'll do that and they'll be blurry or the grass will be blurry, but it's just again the composition is great and the amount of sharpness is wonderful. The roof, the blue color in the roof is just gorgeous.
And Leslie, where you placed the clouds is great.
Yeah, good job.
I actually had, this was the first thing I shot when I got there because we got there late as the sun was, setting and the new moon came out. I'm like, oh, full moon, great. And I'm like, I had to like set up in like 2 seconds. I'm like racing like crazy to set up the tripod and get the camera on there and do everything before I lost the light. So I was there mostly, for the evening and we had dinner there. So while I had the light, I'm like, all right, it took about like 10 pictures of this. And then, but the clouds started moving. And I'm like, okay, then that big cloud started moving too close to the lifeguard shack. I'm like, okay, that doesn't work. So this was actually the very first picture that I took when I got there.
Cool.
I'm going to clap because after the blue light shoot, whatever else, I'm going to clap because you actually brought your tripod.
Yes, I did
Do what
remember.
you needed to do with that. So all I did was deepen this a little bit. I just darkened it because I just wanted the moon to have a little bit more. Not much. It's just, if you look, it's just a tad lower. It's just, that's me. I don't know that anybody else would like it that way.
You know what? I did play with it a lot, but I didn't want the sky to look too artificial.
Okay. And I would say
So
it's a fabulous picture. You did a superb job with this.
I loved this one. I scored it
Yep.
quite
Yep.
high. It's wonderful.
thank
Pretty
you.
awesome.
Good job, Leslie. Wonderful.
Thank you.
And that's Leslie's other shot where, yeah, you shot at night. Good girl. Actually, did you use a tripod?
Is that the blue light we're talking about?
Not quite blue. It's a little gray blue up here, but yeah, you're getting closer. But sometimes it's either there and it's not there. I mean, it's got it. Some days you can go out and you got the right time, but there's really no blue light. But nice. Did you shoot this on a tripod?
Yes, ma'am.
Girl,
I schlepped that tripod
look
everywhere.
at how
with
tack
me.
sharp it is. Yeah.
She deserves a medal.
She does.
And,
Maybe
and wait, go back. Ann, can
I am,
you,
man.
I can't see the metadata on my screen. Can you just tell us what settings she had for this?
Yeah.
There you go.
She was on 1/40th of a second, and
Yeah.
she was at an f-stop of a 1.5, and the ISO was 400, which it can be low because her shutter speed was 1/40, and very
Nice.
close, very close.
And this is her iPhone.
No.
No.
It says
Oh yeah,
that.
this was your iPhone. This was
Oh,
an
this
Apple.
one I took
What?
with my iPhone, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one you shot with
Oh,
your iPhone. Because I was
took
going to
with
say,
I took with my camera also.
right, but I was going to say that it had to be looking back at it because you can't get 1.5 unless you pay $5,000 for
For a
your lens.
lens, right?
That's what I was wondering.
Okay, but oh, you know what? I didn't use the tripod. There was a placard there, and I set the phone on the placard.
Good for you.
So it was kind of like a tripod, and then I stabilized the phone. I forgot, but I used my camera also. So that's interesting that this was actually the iPhone shot. Okay.
So we won't take the medal away, but we might drop it from a gold to a silver. Oh, and I'm going to tell you, look, I'm going back to this. Thank you very much for not having to make me straighten it, Leslie.
Oh, I know. I remembered about the
I'm sure you did. So this is Lori.
horizon.
This is Lori's Daddy and Daughter Day.
I'll make some comments. I don't know if she did this on purpose, if Lori did this on purpose, but this is pretty much on the high key side. And I thought for the fact that it was a sunny day and it's the beach, that that's a really nice treatment for a picture like this. So I like this picture a lot. I like that the little girl is in half stride. It's a very tender image. It's on a diagonal. And I like the overexposure.
It alludes to high key a little bit because all the white in the shirt is, you lost some of the detail in there, but that's okay. In this case, it looks good. It doesn't bother me that it is high key. I kind of like it. It might have been because she shot on automatic. I don't know, but I would say that could be part of it. She hasn't really gotten to the point where she's learned yet to move off automatic. So, but it's all good. So
You
Dave
sure, you
edited
sure,
it.
I'm sorry. You sure
Hi.
could say, go ahead, Ann, go ahead.
Hang
Go
on, I'm
ahead.
going to close this door for a minute.
You certainly could say that, there's lack of detail in the shirts. The highlights maybe should be brought down. But in this case, I like it too. It works.
Yeah,
It's-
it brings your
works.
eye right to him.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
it's
yes.
beautiful shot.
It's a sweet shot. It really is nice.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's nice too.
I
Yeah.
just
Oh, I
took,
like that.
I
Yeah.
took a look at it a little softer. If you go back to the original,
Yep.
um, if you see in his arm that he's holding little girl, part of his arm is gray.
Mm.
I don't know how that happened. Maybe it was a filter or something that she put on it. So I kind of filled that in with color.
I think there was a filter on it. You can see it here.
Yeah.
It was
So
the filter that did it.
I just kind of obviously took out the awnings, which I don't hate. I mean, the color is beautiful, but I just thought the tender moment, maybe make it a little softer and cleaner, was another way to go.
Nice.
But the picture's a nice picture.
Yeah,
I do
Yes,
like
it is.
everything about what the picture is saying to me emotionally.
I
It's lovely.
agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is Lori's other one. I'll go on it for a minute. To me, there's something, because we can put filters on and we like the fact that, wow, it's different. It doesn't really, for me, it doesn't really work on this bird. This background that was changed with this in the back, and this going on here, it doesn't, it's a little strange, and I can't quite figure out what it is that bothers me about it, but I might have liked it better as a regular establishing shot. So that's my feeling on it. And crop, a little more on the front it needed. Right there. Anybody got a thought?
I like the fact that you can see all the feathers. It's well
Yeah.
exposed. It's
Yeah.
sharp. The bird is handled really well. Just I like the fact there's just like something about the posture of this bird in this particular picture. It's like he's talking to you. Um, and the fact that it's really sharp and the little feathers near the bottom of the beak, there's a lot of little details that are good. And there's a
Yeah.
little shadow underneath the back of the body on the fence, which I think is nice also.
Yep. Anybody else?
No,
Okay, here we go. So that was, I think, all 18. Did I miss anybody's pictures? So I will show you now very quickly. We'll just scan through, see. This is when the shooting gallery gets a chance to comment on our stuff. Okay? Have at it, gang. Here we go. This is one of Dave's.
And I gotta say, Adrian pointed out to me that there was orange rope there. And but I just liked the pop of it and took it. I won't say anymore.
This is selective color. Black and white was selective color. Thoughts? Anybody want to have a go at this? Do we like, do we not like, do we feel something would be a little different?
I was talking, but I was muted. Sorry. I love the pop. I think that was a great choice. I love that color pop. And I love that there's a guy, and I don't know if the guy in the upper left corner if this is his stuff and he's taking a break or not. I don't know, but it creates the story by having that guy there. You know, it helps with the storytelling of this. But I do love that pop of color. I think that was such an excellent choice.
Even got the little bird on the bottom.
Oh, I didn't even
Oh
see
yeah, I
him.
didn't
Oh,
see him
yeah.
either.
Down there. He's down there. Anybody else from the shooting gallery want to have at it? All right, move on. This is David's next shot.
Boy, talk about all the things you can do with pelicans. I really like this. Again, the C, the choice of what's included and what's not included is a very different way to look at a pelican.
I mean, I feel like I'm riding on the back of the pelican and we're flying together. I just wish I would have seen a little more of the pelican's face, or more of the beak, to be more specific.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like I'm on flight with the pelican in the sky.
It was going away. That's the direction of it. Go.
I tried to lighten the face, but it was kept breaking up, so I kind of left it. But I agree with you. I would have liked to see more of the face.
Okay, so here we go. On to this one. It's David's.
So this one I call taking a peek.
I love her. Her eyes are phenomenal. What a catch, David.
That's incredible.
It really was incredible. I cannot believe that you caught it right here with her eyes, not in the phone, but looking
Right.
at his pet.
No, Dave showed us how to switch out eyes the other
Oh,
night.
Yeah, that's true.
But I
Did you
didn't
do
in this.
that? No.
No.
You're
That's
so
a
right,
perfect street shot.
This is extraordinary street shot. So here's another one of David's now. We walked away, and I'm going to, Adrian's got one. I'm going to go to Adrian's here first. Adrian shot it. Here's the faraway look. This is what we saw from the bridge, from the, the pier.
Lighthouse.
So this was one of Adrian's, and it's very, very pretty.
It's
David
great.
and I said we want to get as close as we could go. We were trying to find some way to get closer to it. So we got in the car, and on the way home, we vagabonded until we found. That was David's version of it, and this is my version of it.
Ooh, and fun.
So as you can see, we're standing side by side, and yet what we do with what we see is very different. So you can stand right with somebody and still have a lot of fun with the outcome being totally different. So this one,
And did you do a white vignette on top
It's-
of
it's
that,
what they
that colorful
call-
filter?
yeah, what it is it's a frame. It actually is called a vignette, but it's a vignette all the way around that has a square frame kind of look. It's a special vignette, but it's also a filter over this too.
Right.
So just to me, I just didn't like it as it was. It needed a little something, and that's where I went with it. But then this was what I shot. And there's something very subtle that I did with it. If you look at the water and look at the waves,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Tropics.
so here's the new one.
Oh,
And
what
here-
filter
here-
is that?
This was a Photoshop filter. This was, let me think of what it was.
You can't get that in Photoshop Elements?
Yeah, I think it is in Elements. It was one of the filters that I picked up. Photoshop has the same filters in Elements. Oh, I know what it was. It was oil painting. It's in Photoshop Elements. It's in,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah,
and
look
it
at
was
the
just-
sky. Look at the
Yeah,
sky.
look.
You can see it in the sky.
Oh, wow. I love that. Yeah.
But you
it
have to
just-
have a light hand, because if you don't have a light hand when you're doing it, it looks ridiculous.
You
So
can,
that's
you
very
can-
subtle.
Yeah, you can call the filter up, and then you need to adjust the filter. Not enough, too much, go back in sometimes.
Oh, it gives you like a choice of like a slider for the intensity of the
Exactly.
brushstroke.
Correct.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Correct. So that's what my option was with that. And then this was another version of,
Ooh,
yeah, that was just a bit of a wet look with the lens. It almost looks like water came into the lens of the camera.
Is
yeah.
this
Is that
a-
a filter?
Yes.
Yep.
Is this in Anthropics?
Yes,
This one was Anthropics.
yes, it is.
Oh, I
Yes.
love that.
This one was not. This was also in Anthropics. That's the whole. And I was with Donna and
Me.
you.
I took that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were all eyeballing that down, but by itself, it didn't do it for me. But
Right.
I just went to get a little more creative with it. And this was, for example, the bird shot that Donna had, and here I shot it a lot. And here is what I shot.
No, even closer.
Pretty.
Yeah, I got really, really close.
Beautiful.
Very, very close. And so you just have to keep playing. Sometimes you take 4, 5, 6. I rotated, I turned, I gave it a little bit more contrast. This is Adrian's. Looks like a dark sea here. It's amazing, but I might be Adrian on my screen. This is appearing dark.
Yeah, I like it dark. I like the
Okay.
umbrellas and the water. I just
I
did that
do.
for the
I like
water.
it. I
Yeah.
love the dark water. It looks, yeah, it's very, very pretty. This is more red rope. There we go.
Mhm.
I love this. I really, really like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's exciting. Talking about making something out of nothing.
Yep.
There
It's
you
such
go.
an ordinary thing, but with that pop of color there and the color saturation, it really makes all the difference.
This was a great sea, Adrian. A really great sea.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this.
Different,
Beautiful
Yeah.
shot. Yeah.
different feel here, totally.
I
That's the
love
same thing
close-up.
that David shot.
Yeah, but I love the close-up of it. Where you really
Yeah.
strands of the rope.
Like it a lot. This was another one, very graphic.
What was that?
That's
This
the
is
one of the
Adrian.
awnings.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
They were
piece
all
of it.
backlit. Yeah, they were all backlit.
Oh,
So I just
cool.
kept shooting. I must have taken 20 pictures of that in different sections.
Yep.
This
It's
I
beautiful.
like that.
And this is kind of fun. Street shot, storytelling, coming down. I'm like, I hope you don't have bugs on your legs. I hope there was a path there. Can't
You know,
tell. But
this looks like a painting to me,
yeah,
like almost like a Wyeth painting.
yep.
And
right. Yeah.
just a suggestion, if it was a little softer, I think it would have more the mood of that painting.
More
But
artsy.
I think it's a beautifully composed shot.
Thank you.
I softened it now.
Mhm.
I just softened it a hair.
A little
It's
bit.
composed very well. Beautiful.
Actually, it's
Beautiful.
softer. I want to take the texture out of it. You see, here's the texture. Look at the grass. This is extreme.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
can-
yeah.
A little texture out of the grass,
Yeah.
and it gives you something different. And this was Adrian's last shot. I love the curve of that pier, the way it juts out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
I
going to
did
say
have-
that.
I did have a picture of you sitting on your colorful stool.
Oh,
But I didn't submit it today, but it's actually a good picture. I'll send it to you.
thank
I got one of her too.
you.
Yeah. So, all right. Thoughts, anybody? We're pretty much back to square one.
I would just say one thing about my last picture and the comment about me sitting on my stool is that try being at different heights when you're taking pictures so that you're actually working the subject. So I don't just sit on my stool because my back hurts or I'm tired. I sit on my stool because that's a lower perspective and you get a whole different picture.
Right.
And I do that a lot for sports and they come out completely different.
I have an equipment question. That little plate that you have that you screw onto the bottom of your camera and then clip it onto your the top of your tripod. Can you, because I don't have one of those and it was ridiculous trying to screw my camera onto the top of my iPad, my tripod rather. Is that like a universal piece that I could buy from like
Yeah,
B&H?
what I probably would have to take a look at your tripod because I have a number of them, then we would know which one to get. I think the common plate that would work on most tripods is the Swiss Arca plate.
Let me
Um,
write this down.
The common, but if I saw your tripod and you brought it by and let me look at it, Leslie, then I can tell you and guide you there.
But why
Oh.
wouldn't you just leave the plate from your tripod on the camera for the whole shoot? Why are you taking
There
it
is
off?
no separate plate.
Oh, my
She's
That's what I'm
pouring
saying.
it
There
right
is no
into the
separate
hole.
plate.
Oh,
There's
my
just a
tripod
screw
ca-
coming
my
up
tripod
from the
came.
top of the tripod, and then
Oh.
it's like so
Right, so if you
difficult
get
Oh,
the
to
little
get the
yeah,
plate,
camera
you
on
just
there.
leave, yeah, you get the little
Yeah.
plate, you just leave it on the you leave it
on
the
the camera because it came with the tripod and I just leave it on the camera.
Right. Maybe I'd just buy a new tripod because it's an old one. I was using it because it was my father's, so it meant
Oh.
something to me. But
Don't go change it until I see it. Let me see
Okay.
it before you
Okay.
decide to do that. Okay, there
Okay.
might be some good things about it. Just because it's older doesn't mean it's not what you need. But the plate, yeah, for sure.
okay, thank you.
Anybody else have
I'm
any
just
thoughts?
curious.
Yeah.
When I first came on, Ann and Adrian, I think you were talking about some other place to shoot.
The horses.
Oh, that's our
Oh.
March trip.
Where
We're
is
going
that?
up
Wellington?
yes, in Wellington.
Okay.
I'll send something out about that over the weekend.
And I think we're going to do a little show and tell of some pictures, and we got some maps to show you where to go and give you some information about it. I think David and I were there yesterday to just case it out. We've been there a couple of times. This is like I think a third or fourth time, but it was fabulous.
Do you know how much the tickets are?
It's free.
You don't
Oh,
have
they're
to
free.
pay.
It's free.
Great.
Oh,
So
is
that,
it?
and
If you
one
go
thing
to
that-
one of the events where they're doing competition later on, or some of the night ones or the late afternoon where they have the real championship rounds, but they do a lot of scoring events and stuff going around all over the place. There's horses jumping everywhere, horses.
Oh, really?
walking.
Okay. That's
So
They're
nice.
everywhere.
I think it's from 8 to 4. It's free.
8
And
to
As
4
we said
p.m.
before, the key will be also, you've got to get there early or you're gonna wind up having to pay for valet parking because parking is really, really tight.
quite frankly, I forgot what days is it available? Wednesday through
Well, we
Sunday?
went on
What's the date
Thursday.
of the photo shoot?
Hold on, I'll tell you.
So Wednesday and Thursday we were there, right?
Okay, so Wednesdays and Thursdays, you could go any week if you just want to go walk around and check it out.
We're going on Wednesday, March 26th.
Yeah, all I'm saying is you can go beforehand
Right.
if you want to, just to see what it's like.
And just so you also know, I think it's Saturday night. They have a special. You can go on their website. They have a special programs on Saturday night. And on Saturday night when I went, this was like 2 years ago, so double check. All you paid was parking. You didn't have. There was no admission, and you could bring 5 people in your car. It didn't matter. You still paid the same amount.
What is the website address?
It's the Wellington
Tin-
International Equestrian Center.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know whether the club has ever shot at a racetrack, but I once went to Saratoga and it was very easy to take great pictures. So
I want to go to Gulfstream. I
Yeah.
want to go to
You should go.
Gulfstream. It's on my list. Yep. I want to go early in the morning when they're training. Yep.
We wanted to go once, and Rosalind was very against it because they hurt the horses or
Yeah, she
something.
was
She-
concerned.
The horses love to run.
They beat them on the back.
They don't.
Well, there's a lot of good athletes that like to do what they like to do and they eventually get hurt. And I'm talking about people as well as what they love to do. There are many horses that do really love to run, but there is abuse in the land of racing because of what goes on to inject or disguise injury or
Yeah,
some
that's the
are better
problem.
than others. I used to work with standard breds and I used to train them. And when I was 20 years old, those are the harness horses. And I was around to watch what went on. And I was young enough then that I wanted to kill some of the abuse that went on, but it's gotten better. It's gotten much, much cleaner. But you're right. It's like the athlete who wants to jump up and skydive off a cliff with a parachute in their back. I'm like, why would you want to do that? Because some people just have it in them. And I think some horses really do love running. They love to run.
And in
No,
the harness
I want to
racing,
go. I just mentioned
in
it
harness
because
racing, I've seen the jockeys beating each other.
Oh, God.
They go around the track.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody.
you.
thank you. Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
See you guys. Adrian, can you stay
Yes.
on a minute?
I am.
Good. We're going to let everybody go because we have to talk about show. Leslie, you got to give me a couple more. Leslie hasn't quite checked out. You still there, Leslie? She's
She's
poised.
frozen. I think something happened there. Oh, there. That's Susan's gone.
Leslie's still frozen.
There she
She's
is.
okay. So if I look at this right now, you're going to have less pictures, I think, than we had in the past.
Oh, I'm sure. I was expecting that.
Yeah, me too, kind of, because of what's happening with all the teaching. But what I've got is 12 in beginner, but there's 6 that are Steve G's and 6 that are Mendy's.
Yeah. So we have to combine that with the novice.
That's what I think we're going to have to do.
Right.
In the novice, there are 29.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
With
And-
those 12 or without?
No, without the 12.
Oh,
I'm just
perfect.
giving you the breakdown as it is. There's 29. Like I have nothing from Zev. I
Yeah,
have nothing
no.
from Lisa Fine. I got Nancy. I got Marty. I got Michael Kaplan. I got Donna Crystal. I don't have Vivian. She's out. Don't
Right.
have Gary Raps. Got Lorraine, but I only have 5 from Lorraine. She didn't want to
Okay.
put in a 6. And
Okay.
Virginia, we don't have any.
Right.
So in the intermediate, I don't have anything from Jim Asker. I sent him a note
Okay.
and I said, Jim, I really would be looking forward to seeing some of your work, but I didn't hear back. So I guess we're not. But he sent a picture in for reflections.
Oh,
But only one. It was
okay.
knocked down. It was knocked down.
Mhm.
So I think he's going to be good. I just think I've got Barbara Bader, we've got 6. We've got 6 we don't have anything from Rosalind, which I knew.
Yeah, she said so.
Michelle Furset, no. Marty, nothing in that group because we moved him down to novice, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have anything from Evie Grothius.
Okay.
I got 6 from Paul, nothing from Gloria Kaplan. I sent her a note also and said, are you sure? Ray Mortlock, I've got 6. Nothing
Okay.
from Paula. I sent Harvey a note and said, does she want to submit or what's happening? Nothing.
Okay.
Norm Sherman, nothing. And Harry, we've got 4. He only felt he had 4.
Okay.
And then in advanced,
So
I've
what's the
got
total on?
22
Okay.
in intermediate.
Okay.
The advanced, we have 24.
Okay.
And the only ones we didn't get in advance were nothing from Karen Rosenblatt. I spoke with her.
Yeah, she spoke to
But
me.
she can't. She's
Yeah.
overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed.
And Brenda Rosenthal, we have nothing from Brenda.
Oh, she said she was going to put in.
I've got
Let me
nothing.
check. I'll check with her.
Okay. And if she can get him into me tonight or early tomorrow morning, we'll take him. But
Okay.
she's got to get him in. Jerome Weinstein, nothing. I don't even know if he joined again, but nothing.
Yeah,
there.
he did. Okay.
Okay. And the masters were all set except for Carl. So we've got 36 in the masters, 24 in advanced.
Okay.
So that's pretty much where we are right now. Now, what I have to do is get a hold of Paul and see what the best way is to enter them on the spreadsheets.
Okay.
So I can usually do that in a day and get them done. And then from there, it's his, and he can manipulate and whatever else.
Right.
And I'll
Okay.
make copies of everything in the Dropbox links. I'm keeping everybody's emails, everybody's mail
Oh,
pictures.
God.
My computer's saturated with stuff because I don't trust anymore. So that's where that is.
Okay.
And I still, while I'm working on that, I still have to work on reflections.
Right. But we have till the 30. Oh, there's no 31st, 28th. Right.
Yeah, there it goes. We're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
just looking quickly. Hang on one second. I want to see if anybody sent me anything. Maybe they did. Nope.
Okay.
Didn't get any more.
All right. So
So
I'll just check with Brenda. That's the one of all the ones you said that she said that she was going to.
yep. Yep.
Okay. And Stuart decided not to, I guess, for his first year.
Right.
Okay.
I don't have him anywhere on the list because I forgot to add him. What he'd be in beginner, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I don't have him down here, but I'll just
Because
put a
he was supposed to come today. I guess something happened.
The Stewart is the other one. We're missing him. So, yeah. So
And
how
what
many?
about Lori? Did you tell me, did Lori put something in?
Oh, Lori was the other one, and I emailed her. I do not have anything from Lori. Why don't you touch base? I
Yeah,
did,
absolutely.
but why don't you either give her a call to touch base? That's the last one.
Okay.
I really want something from her.
Okay. Even if she just puts in the things that she's been putting in, for
Yeah,
the
well,
monthly.
she had one the other day that got an award, you know?
Right. Yeah. Oh, we forgot to announce whose pictures won.
All right, we'll put it out. It'll be a surprise.
Okay. I'll
And
send it
nobody
out.
asked. It was
Okay.
funny.
Yeah, that is funny. Okay, I'll send it out now.
All right.
All
So
right.
we're good.
We're
And
good.
now it'll be between Paul and I.
Okay. All right. I'll be here.
Oh.
Let me know if you need any help.
Well, bye, sweetie.
Bye.